Hi, everybody. Martin Root with Project Heaven on Earth. My guest today, David Wood of Play4Real.life. I love that title. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Martin.
Let me just, so my viewers know a little bit about you, give me your background, because I think the background is very interesting. You went from, in a sense, right brain to left brain, or you've gotten both sides of the brain incorporated here.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I started life as a consulting actuary. So I was on Park Avenue. I thought I knew what I wanted: privilege, prestige, power, money. I was consulting to Exxon, Philip Morris, Ford Motor Company, Sony Music. And I quit. I quit and spent a year playing guitar in pubs and for parties. You probably didn't know that about me.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, and I was even sang on national TV on our equivalent of the Gong Show. So I really just wanted to play in life. And then I got really interested in how would I work with people about people instead of people about just money. So I trained as a coach, as a life coach. Is what we called it back then. And for the last 20 years, I've been coaching people on three things: appreciating what they have, generating possibility to create what they could have, and then making that happen in time and space.
I mean, it fits so beautifully into my perception of heaven on earth as well, both experiencing and enjoying the heaven on earth of this moment and creating more of it in the next moment. And you titled yourself Play4Real.life, but I'm interested in the play part. You know, being a corporate consultant, that's not a word I would have thought would have come out of your lips, and certainly not something that you brand yourself by. Why play, David?
Yeah, well, Play4Real.life is the place where humor meets depth. I'm all about success, and some people consider me very successful, and I've coached a lot of people to success, but I think some people are way too serious about it. We forget that life is the ultimate game that we're playing. And I was once asked, if everything was fixed and perfect in the world, what would you do? And I realized what I would do was play. So I have a very high value on play, but not in the sense of just being frivolous and nothing matters and let's not even care about money or results or relationships. No, I blend both. I care about playing as a value. Let's have fun with it, and let's generate excellent results so that we're playing for real.
I love the tie-in of both, and the analogy, the metaphor rather, for heaven on earth is so, you know, that we're playing for real rather than being at the effect of the world, at the effect of this new circumstance that's boiled up today or whatever. One of the gateways, there are seven gateways into heaven on earth, David, and one of them is living your global values. And when I looked at your site and talking about your work, there are three values that you bring up that are, in addition to play. I mean, play is the context for all of them, but there are three that you bring up that I'm particularly interested in you speaking about. One is truth. That is taking truth, higher telling of truth, as you say it, daring, stepping out of your comfort zone, and caring. And my interpretation of those three values, were they to be present globally for you, that would clearly be heaven on earth.
Interesting. Yeah. Particularly the truth and the caring. I see these as three doorways, perhaps, to heaven on earth. I'm generally happiest when I'm telling the truth and I'm fully revealed and people know exactly what they're getting, whether they think it's good or bad. That matters to me, and I feel more related to people. So truth telling as a pathway to heaven on earth, I think, is valid. The caring.
Say a little bit more about, so, I mean, the opposite of is not truth telling. What happens when I don't tell the truth?
Yeah. When I don't tell the truth, when I have secrets, or I like to call them withholds, then it keeps me more distant from the person I'm interacting with.
Yeah.
Also, I don't want to have anything that could bite me ever in the future. It's just, if you look at movies or TV shows, the way to create drama is to keep a secret. You have to do something, you keep it secret. I'm like, why don't you just tell him right now? Because then it won't blow up and blow back in your face, but that doesn't make for good television.
Well, now that's interesting. So instead of having drama by keeping secrets, we tell the truth, and what do we have?
When we tell the truth, if there is any drama, we get to have it now. We get to have it now, and we get to deal with it head on in an open and hopefully loving way. But if we don't tell the truth, it can bite us. Like, let's suppose I break someone's dish in the house that I'm staying at. If I don't say anything, I'm leaving myself open for the chance that someone might notice the dish going, they come asking me what happened, then I say it. Now I'm less trustworthy because I broke something and didn't say it. So I'd rather have the, if there is any drama, head on, look, I'm sorry, I broke a dish. Would you like me to replace it? Do you not care? What should we do about it? And deal with any awkwardness up front so that I know that I'm clear, not just with the person with the dish, but in all of my relationships. Everything's clear, nothing's hidden, there's nothing that can come back and bite me. It's a very peaceful way to live.
I mean, there's another chapter in my book. It's really heaven on earth in relationships. And so, and you take the energy rather than holding it for holding the secret, you hold it for creation.
You could use the energy for something else. So
to create something new. Yeah. Something
now,
like affirming.
In a business context, I think a great reason, if people are looking for a reason to tell the truth more often, is because people will trust you more.
And trust is a huge, huge value. I've noticed in my consulting career, I remember I've been working with this guy for 8 years, and he said, look, there's a problem with this unit, go fix it, goodbye. No, he didn't say it. Actually, his secretary phoned me and to just tell me that, because the trust was so, trust is a huge foundational aspect of business. I agree. Yeah. Let me move then to daring. And what you say about daring is stepping outside your comfort zone. So what's a comfort zone? Why would I step out of it?
I noticed about daring, and I had this breakthrough at the Transformational Leadership Council retreat that you and I were both at. I realized that when I'm daring, when I take a risk and do the stuff that feels uncomfortable, I like myself more.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, I took 3 big risks at that retreat, and regardless of the result, I realized I won. I was happy because I went for it. Now, if one of those actually lands and I get a result, like I asked someone if I could shadow them on a movie shoot. That was a big, bold request for me. There was a woman I asked if she wanted to travel to Colombia with me. That was a big risk for me. I went and pitched Jack Canfield on writing a book together. And I know the guy gets 1,000 pitches a year, right? But I did these things and I noticed that they felt right to me. And that was the win. It didn't really matter what happened. So what I want for people is that feeling. I want them to have that feeling of knowing I didn't shrink, I didn't hide, I didn't wuss out, as we'd say in Australia, or wimp out. I actually went for it. And the result was secondary to me doing what was right for me.
Very clear. And then the third aspect in playing for real is caring. And I thought when I first saw this, truth telling, I love that. Daring, I love that. And then caring, and the combination, well, I'll come to the combination in a moment, but talk about caring, why you see that as important in play.
I put it in there because I used to be this diehard spiritual warrior. I would go out and I'd fly 10,000 feet above the earth in a paraglider. I was scared of being abandoned, so I'd date in open relationships. I'd have polyamorous relationships. And I just thought, I'm just going to go for it. I was so daring that I hurt my body. I mean, I've literally hurt my body through breaking my back. I've gone into severe depression and anxiety by dating in open relationships. It's just not good for my nervous system. So what I realized is daring needs to be tempered with a real respect and honoring of our bodies, honoring of our relationships and nurturing those, and honoring and nurturing our business. Because if we don't care for those things and nurture them, they can all disintegrate. So I don't like to say it or admit to it, because I like to see myself as this Australian, Crocodile Dundee type, I can do anything type thing, and I don't have needs. But it's a fact of life. I do have needs. We all have needs, and we need to take care of those, or we're in trouble.
Put this all together for me in terms of the clients you've worked with and this new way for you, relatively new, of interacting with people called Play for Real. So we have truth, telling, daring, and caring. You put that package together, and what does the person get?
Well, my clients, I believe, are already playing for real at some level, or they wouldn't be successful. Yeah. They've already got a track record of success in business, perhaps in relationships, and they're already daring. They're already caring at some level, and they're already truth-telling. The question is, how much could you up-level that? And usually we can't see it, because it's like you can't read the label on the jar from inside the jar. So my job is to help them see areas where they didn't even know that they could up their truth-telling, up their daring, up their caring, and play a much better game. So what they get is they get me helping them to see those blind spots that could not be seen from inside themselves.
That last statement is really interesting. I should tell people that you and I have been in a mutual coaching relationship for, I don't know, a year or so. And what I find from you is, and what I find from really good coaches, is they see what I can't see. They point that out. It becomes glaringly obvious. And then the next action that I need to take becomes obvious again. And I think you take it, David, to a very sensitive level. You don't come in, I found, with a prescription. It's really what's present and how can you be of service. You don't do coaching by rote. I have to do this with you, this with you, this with you. And while we've talked about truth, daring, and caring, I don't find you coming in prescriptive. I find you coming in very present to what's needed and wanted in this moment, in this situation. And you represent for me why I love being with you, even though we see each other in the same room very infrequently, is you help me express, because one of the other gateways into heaven on earth is the inner. You help me look at the stuff that I haven't seen, the shadow side, and bring that to light. And once it's brought to light, and it incorporates truth-telling. I have to tell the truth, and you tell the truth to me. Daring, Martin, are you willing to step out of this situation? Yes, I am, David. And clearly your caring comes through. And when I talk about in Project Heaven on Earth about relationships, I think what our relationship models is very clearly for me a heaven on earth relationship, because I always, when we're ending our session, I always feel more empowered in a very loving, caring, and brilliant way, because you come at it in ways like any good coach that I never expect. It's like, oh, where's he coming from? And then I see where he's coming from, and it's brilliant. I know I'm going a little on there, but I really do feel this about you, and I really want people to experience you. They can find out more by how?
Thank you. You said it really well. Basically, people speak and I listen, and then I speak to what they need. That's how the coaching works. People get so much that I can't fit into 2 sentences, but I can give them a framework for where we can begin, and then they'll probably get a bunch of stuff they didn't anticipate. And the best way they can find out is to experience a coaching session. They can go to playforreal.life, take the 1-minute reality check, and if you see a gap between where you are and where you want to be, then request a session. And if you qualify, I'll do a session at no charge. It's how I find the right clients to work with.
Yeah, I believe that in you. I believe really you do, because I think we've spoken in the past about there are certain people that you simply don't work with.
Right. So some people only need one session. We do one session, they need a course correction, and off they go. And then other people aren't at a stage where I feel like I can really make the biggest impact. But the session is where we find out.
David, thank you for this. And thank you for being an agent of heaven on earth.
Thank you, Martin. I love you.
Love you. Pleasure. Bye-bye.